Hello to all you guys out there in YouTube land. Yes, it's me, DR, coming to you from the non-moving car. Yes, I'm parked up again. This is a quick video just covering something that is of interest to me at the moment. I am currently reading the James Comey book. Let me stop. I say reading in the more looser sense. I'm listening to the audiobook of the actual book by James Comey called A Higher Loyalty. That's it. So this is the book that James Comey's just released. I say just, but recently released, covering. It's a memoir of sorts, autobiography of James Comey's life. I'm finding it quite interesting. I think some of the reviews have said it's really slow to start. I'm only on chapter 7 at the moment, and up to this point, the chapters have talked about kind of his childhood and his encounters with an infamous robber, him and his brother. Then it kind of leads forward. It talks about his encounters with bullies. That really shaped his existence and his worldview. Talks about him wanting to be a doctor and then being influenced and steered towards law. We've kind of gone through his early career and the people that have shaped him in his early career. And now at this point in time, he is, it's kind of the transition. He was, I think, assistant district attorney in the US, and is making that progression towards district attorney. He's talking about kind of his thoughts and views, his interaction with the Bush regime, and especially the vice president at the time. So that's been really fascinating for me to understand this. Being from the UK, I have very little concept or a very anecdotal concept of the American legal system. So it's been fascinating to hear it from Comey's perspective. One of the things that I'm taking from it, though, is Comey, and definitely with the name of the title of the book, definitely Comey's trying to position himself at a higher moral ground than any potential other people. And I find that approach, I mean, it's obvious that he's going to take that approach, especially considering how the story ends. It's like fascinating that we're bitterly aware of how the story potentially will end, or ending in real life, or this point he's up to in real life. So I'm kind of fascinated in terms of where it's going to go. But I can also see, if you were familiar with James Comey, or even just familiar with the American legal system and some of the more well-known in America, some of the more high-profile cases that James Comey's been a part of, I can understand from that perspective why this book might be quite slow. Because I said I'm at chapter 7, and we're still years away from this regime. So from someone who's aware of this, they might actually see it might be feeling like it's taking its time, especially if you're, as I said, if you're aware of the issues that he's talked about, if you're aware of kind of Rudy Giuliani and his kind of influence, and I was aware of it as a observer from afar, but not potentially as aware of people who might be interested in purchasing this book. Might have been laboured sentence, but it makes sense to me. So from my perspective, I'm really enjoying it. And as an audiobook, which is actually narrated by Comey, I think that's really, it's been really fascinating listening to his emotional stresses. Sometimes when you read a book, especially an autobiography, what you tend to find is they don't necessarily place the emphasis where you think they should. So hearing him actually read out his words and place the emphasis where he feels it should be placed is kind of giving me a bit of insight in terms of what he's trying to get across. Not just the explicit words and tonalities using, but the implicit pacing and emphasis he's putting on words. So I would recommend, even if you're a book reader, getting the audio book. Now I downloaded that from Audible. This isn't sponsored by Audible. I'm not going to do an advert on Audible, but I downloaded the audio book on Audible, and it's been really good, actually. I have to say, very high quality, really nice to listen to. So at the moment, I'm enjoying the kind of the setup, but I think, as I said, I'll reiterate, for most people, 7 chapters of setup, and I'm still feeling like I'm in setup mode, might feel like it's a bit excessive. So I get why he's doing it. I mean, some points, it's fascinating to know. Some people might think it's padding out the book, and that might be the case. But for me, as someone who, as an interested observer from an ocean away, I'm finding it quite interesting to learn more about his thought processes, his point of view, understand this from his side of the table, and all this story in terms of what he's emphasizing about his journey is important in order to understand that. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. This is DR saying I would recommend this book actually at this point. As I said, if you're more aware, you might find it slower. I'm just putting that caveat, but as I said, up to chapter 7, I would recommend this book to anyone who's interested in politics and also the kind of history of what's going on in the White House at the moment. I've also been reading the Donald Trump unofficial Fire and Fury. I say reading, listening to the audiobook. So I might put my thoughts and feelings about that out there when I finish that. So this is DR saying, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts if you read the book or if you're thinking about getting the book and purchasing the book. Put the notes in the comments down there. Like, share, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. And have a safe journey wherever you're heading. Bye!
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content and want to know as soon as I post a new video, follow me on Twitter at Jewel_RYT. That's Jewel_RYT for more of my thoughts as well as updates as soon as each new video is released.